Alrighty, what's going on, guys? This is Brother Kane, and whether you guys are buckled up, ready to go, or not, let's get right onto the urban legend videos. Today we'll be talking about the most vicious female serial killer in all recorded history, and her name is Elizabeth Báthory. It all started in 1602 when rumors were going around the village of Trenčín, city located in western Slovakia, that peasant girls who were looking for servant work and even women in the Kastis castle were disappearing. Many villagers in Trenčín looked to Countess Elizabeth Báthory when trying to explain the disappearances. Báthory, who happens to be the descendant of the powerful Hungarian family and the child of George VI Báthory and Anna Báthory, would call the castle home, which she received as a wedding gift from her husband, Hungarian war hero Frank Nadasdy. Nadasdy became chief commander of the Hungarian army in 1578 and went on a military campaign against the Ottoman Empire. He had left his wife Elizabeth in charge of his vast estates and the governing of the local residents. As time passed by, more rumors had spread throughout the village that Báthory had been torturing her servants. These rumors and views would become much more dramatic in 1604 when Báthory's husband died. Elizabeth Báthory was formally accused for a horrendous litany of crimes in 1610. Too many folks were missing, and because the town and the village were small, people started noticing. Even Báthory's comrades hated her for this, that they had Báthory arrested and put on trial for the murder of not only errant and stray females, but also for those in her own court. Elizabeth Báthory's severance package for a servant and a minor noblewoman wasn't exactly Amnesty International approved. What came out during the proceedings terrified the residents and tossed a veil of shame over the noble houses of Europe. Báthory had killed more than 600 women and young women, and each of her victims were killed in all manner of corrupted and vicious ways. Some of her victims were covered in honey and left outside for the insects to feast on. Young women would be exposed completely and forced into deadly ice baths until their hearts gave out. Girls were simply tortured, needles driven into their fingers, their noses, lips, teeth, and their private parts would get sliced off. Báthory would tie her victims with the help of some of her trustworthy handmaidens and bite off shoulders, breasts, and ears. She would eat their flesh, and even going beyond that, she would sometimes cook the meat, their flesh, on brazier while the victim looked on in horror. She was sacrificed to pagan gods and spirit kids with the help of a town witch. It took the authorities years and years to actually apprehend her, transformed into a political scandal of untold proportions. A scandal that was later enraged by the Turks' media campaign against the noble houses of Europe. Elizabeth Báthory, along with Vlad Tepes, became the worst evils festering within the Roman Catholic community. But one sinful act above all that hasn't been confirmed fully is what cemented Báthory in the pantheon of historical devils, which is the same reason why Bram Stoker was so fascinated by her chronicle and why some traditions portray her as a vampire. The reason why these traditions depict Báthory as a vampire is because she would bleed out her victims and shower in their blood. For some strange reason, Báthory preferred virgins, girls still in their tweens, ages of 8 or 9 to 12. Báthory would first take them and clean them with milk, honey, and olive oil. And then she, along with her minions, would hang them by their ankles over the tub. Elizabeth Báthory would slice their necks and let the blood trickle out in a flowing cascade over her pale, naked body so she could recapture her lost youth. On December 29, 1610, Count Gyuri Thurzo arrived at Castle Kastis to examine Báthory's alleged violations against women of noble birth. He caught Báthory red-handed, literally in the middle of tormenting a young girl. She was then arrested and imprisoned in her home while the committee searched through her various crimes and made heads and tails of all that had transpired. Báthory's 4 servants were rapidly arrested, questioned, and tortured. The 4 servants denied their guilt in the murders, but confessed to hiding multiple victims. 3 of the servants were sentenced to death, and 1 of them managed to escape imprisonment. Another gentlewoman, who happened to be a black magic sorcerer that had helped Báthory in occult rituals during her killings, was searched out and killed on the spot. Elizabeth Báthory wasn't condemned to death, nor put on trial. Instead, she was walled up and confined in a tiny room inside Castle Castis, where she remained until she died in 1614. She was originally buried in a tomb on her property, but her body was moved afterward, and even to this day, no one knows its whereabouts. Elizabeth Báthory is now labeled by Guinness World Records as the most prolific female murderers and the most prolific murderers of the Western world. Now, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to watch this. We are definitely going to have some more serial killers, more urban legends, all of this stuff, even cosplaying, because I'm still going to go back and do some more Kane stuff too as well. So you guys can comment down below if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. If you guys have any requests, please don't hesitate to reply down below in the comments down below this video. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you like what you hear, and also make sure you guys click the subscribe button, which you can do during the video, before the video, after the video, and even subscribe down below the video, and hit the notification bell so that way you guys can stay updated on when I post new stuff. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys. I enjoy having you guys here, and we are still on the road to 400 subscribers. We are getting up there. We are at 364 so far, so we are looking good. So make sure you guys subscribe so that way we can get to where we need to go, and hopefully we can do something nice for when we get to 400 subscribers. Alrighty, I will see you guys next week. Peace.